How's everybody doing? Great to see you guys. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Well, guys, we are moving on to Corinthians, more about that wonderful Bible verse, that beautiful Bible verse that we've talked about, how God is bringing this special love in for you. So today we're going to be talking about the next two lines in that verse, and they are, it is not easily angered, right, guys? And the second one is going to be, it keeps no record of wrongs. Talking about those two. But today, getting those messages in from God and what He's really bringing in for us right now before we get started. So the first one is align yourself with me first. Right? God is saying that to align yourself with God first right now. Don't think, guys, that you have to just run out and be in alignment with everything else. With that person that God brings in for you, don't think that you need to concentrate so much on that alignment that you forget the one you have with God. So God wants you to develop that alignment with Him right now, so that when you get into that relationship, you'll continue to do that. Continue to see those things through Him, right? Because it's not like He writes the story of your greatest love and then He's going to close the book. No, it continues. It starts when you guys get together, right? So you only would think that God would continue to write that story for you. So stay in alignment with God, when that divine relationship comes in. And I think that's really being said right now. And also, please don't lose that alignment. I think it's also, I feel that too, by putting that other person above God. I don't think that sometimes it's not meant to when that person comes in, you just kind of lose yourself, like, oh, this is so great. I'm feeling it. And I'm so in love with this person that you kind of forget about God there. You forget about all those things that you did with God to get to this place. And if you do that, then you're going to end up losing all those things that you worked so hard on. And then the relationship will not be through that alignment with God. And I find that, I just think that God's saying that if you don't do that, then it's not going to be godly divine. It's not going to be that divine relationship, right? All right, the next thing is, don't forget me, right? Okay, this is coming in strong, right? Saying, please don't forget me, like we were just talking about. And that person comes in, don't forget me. Don't forget that alignment. Remember that I am still here. We are still working together on this. And come to me. I will help you in that relationship and help the both of you guys, right, in that divine relationship. Help the both of you guys in coming together, all right? And the next one is actually a Bible verse. It's James 1:17. And it says, every good gift and every perfect gift comes from above, coming down from the Father of the heavens, of the heavenly light, with what there is no change or shifted shadows, right? I think that also has to do with that. There should be no change. There should be no shift, and to bring in those shadows, right? To bring in those things that were not godly divided for you to get there in the first place. So God is saying that He sent you these gifts. Every good gift comes from Him. Remember Him in that gift. Remember Him in that relationship. And don't lose sight of who brought you there in the first place. All right? So right now we're going to start to move on to some of those two next, verses or lines from Corinthians. So the first one is, it is not easily angered, right? I think God is bringing in some things for you right now so that you can really work on that before you get in this relationship. What about that person who comes up to you and they just start yelling, I'm so mad at you, or why did you do this, right? And what do they want you to do? I think sometimes they want you to yell back, I'm mad at you too, and you are yelling at me, right? But God doesn't want you to do that. He wants you to step back. If you need to, walk away, right? I'm not going to talk to you when you are yelling like this. And what does that person do? They may continue to yell and you may walk away. or they may think about their actions. Either way, guys, God is also using you as that vessel to teach that person. So I think that's really amazing that when he's bringing these things into you and you are realizing how you have to step back, how you may have to walk away, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping that other person. Maybe in that relationship they're already in, or that the one that God is going to be placing them into. So I think in some ways you are also being the teacher, as also you're being the student too, which I think is pretty amazing that God is bringing that in for you, right now. He's delivered you into this time with grace, I believe. You're having that grace. You're having that compassion. You're seeing how God has that grace and God has that compassion, and you're taking it out into the world. And how beautiful is that? So when your relationship comes in, it'll be right there in that divine relationship too. You'll be bringing it into that relationship. And how loving and how beautiful is that, guys? Right, and don't let yourself, what happens too? Like say you're that person that's getting angry right now. And God is telling you, slow down a little bit. But I'm so angry and they hurt me so much. Well, guys, I'm not saying that it's not, you need to keep everything in, right? But I'm saying it's not good. And I believe God is telling you too, it's not good to get angry like that. Because what happens? You become emotionally exhausted. Maybe you get angry and the person's like, oh, I didn't mean it that way. Or I misunderstood something that you said. So you've gotten yourself all angry, you're emotionally exhausted, you're still angry. So when that person says that, I think you come back still with that emotional response. Instead of really coming from that place of grace and that place of compassion and really maybe asking some questions too. I think God wants you, instead of getting angry, to step back and to think about the things that maybe you need to ask a question. Or maybe you need to just talk about it in a calmer voice. I think that's bringing it up to you right now. And then that relationship, you'll be able guys to talk about anything. Because we won't be getting angry. You'll build that trust. You'll build that compassion. You'll build that vulnerability between you guys. And won't that be amazing? Okay? I just love that so much, guys. Feeling into that. Be beautiful. The next one is it keeps no record of wrongs. It's like, guys, if you're saying, with the people in your lives right now, you're saying, I can't believe they did that. And I'm going to bring it up to them again. Remember when you did this, I was so upset with you. Well, guys, I think God is asking us, we are made in his image. He has forgotten about that. He has forgiven that person. It's up to you now to look at that in a different way. To see that as in the past. Don't keep on bringing it up over and over and over again. It only hurts the relationship. There's no trust there. Because that person is always in that space where they did that wrong thing and they try to move on themselves to better the relationship. But if you bring it back from the past, you keep on reliving it over and over and over again. And it becomes such a dark energy, such a shameful energy for something, right? So I think God is telling you right now that don't keep that record of wrongs. Don't be like, okay, I'm going to write this down. I know when I'm going to bring this up, right? Don't do that. You talked about it during the time, right? And then it's time to let it go. I know that can be hard, but remember, God has already done this for that person. All right? Okay. I also feel like with this, that I want to bring up a Bible verse too that I think kind of relates. This kind of want to go over it a little bit. So in Matthew, Jesus and the disciples, they are walking through these fields of grain, and the disciples, they get hungry, so they're asking Jesus, if they can go ahead and they can eat the grains, and Jesus says yes. So they start plucking off the grains and they start eating them. But wouldn't you know it, guys, the parasites Oh my goodness, the words are coming out. I think people are saying, don't let those things become parasites where it eats you up inside. I think it's just coming out because it's supposed to be Pharisees. um, so the Pharisees, and look, my voice is going too, guys. Just remember to keep no records of wrong, and remember to stop repeating that. Repeating that. Keep on repeating it over and over again. That's what my voice is saying right now too. So the Pharisees, let's try to get it together. The Pharisees, they come up and they're like, it's a Sabbath. They're not supposed to be doing this. They talk to Jesus and they say that this is wrong, right? On the Sabbath. And I think they're trying to kind of make Jesus look bad. Because they're saying, here's the Sabbath. We're supposed to be doing this. We're going to bring this up. We're bringing this up to make you feel bad. We're going to bring this up to try to catch you in something, right? So I think just like this Bible verse is saying this too, with the Pharisees that are coming up, maybe that person's coming up to you and they're like, and you feel like maybe they're trying to catch you in something. And when you're like, I didn't do anything, because it keeps on being brought up over and over and over again, right? And the Pharisees, like they're coming to Jesus and they're trying to make him feel a certain way. Maybe it's you bringing that thing up to that person over and over because you want them to feel a certain way. You want them to pay. Man, they made me feel this way and I'm going to tell them and I am so mad, right? So I think the two of these kind of go together because love is not easily angered. So you're making yourself get angry by keep on bringing this up over and over again. And it keeps no record of wrongs, right? Because if you keep on bringing up things that were wrong in that relationship and not really willing to move forward and find that place of trust, compassion, that place of vulnerability, then these things are going to come up. You're going to continue to get angry, right? And then you're going to always have that record of the things that they did wrong instead of really working on moving forward to the things that are right in the relationship. Right? So I think those are the two things that God, is having you really work through right now. And also being that vessel to teach others, right? So we talked about that you being the vessel for others, that maybe they're coming at you and you're saying, I'm not gonna engage this. I'm gonna talk to you very calmly. If you continue, I'm gonna walk away. So you're actually teaching others as you're being taught how to respond to, and that's amazing. And then also, don't bring those things back out in the past. I can't believe you did this. Or why did you do this in the past? It's not a good thing. There's no vulnerability. That person feels like the shame comes up over and over and over again. Like I said, when God has already forgiven them for that in that moment, and and God has asked them to move on, like he'll be asking you guys to move on too. All right, so that is the discussion and from Corinthians and the Bible verse for today. Look for me to come on tomorrow too and talk about the next lines that are in that verse, and we will talk about those and how God is still writing that love story for you, and when you guys are together, he will continue to do so also. All right, guys, everybody have a great day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.